OVOP Plus One is a project funded by JICA to empower developing countries. In 2011, it was established in Kyrgyzstan. Today, it has over 3,330 people, 95.1% of which are women. As Kyrgyzstan has a patriarchal society, women to this day are expected to marry in place of pursuing a career and education. This means that most women are vulnerable to remain dependent on others to provide for them throughout their whole life. According to UNFPA, empowering women is an important criteria of high quality of life. By the end of this video, we'd like to find out the impact OVOP had on the empowerment of women in rural Kyrgyzstan. Is poverty from a lack of productivity, or is oppression and exploitation the real culprit? The Longway Framework would say so.
Sarah Longway published the Longway Framework in 1990. It examines welfare, access, conscientization, participation, and control. Welfare means equal access to food, income, and medical care.
In case of OVOP, we saw the increased material well-being of female employees, particularly because of increased income. Before OVOP, many of them were occupied in unpaid household work. Besides, women are provided a kitchen, bathroom, and a shower room to use during breaks. There is currently no insurance and healthcare, but according to the branch office head in Bishkek, Seykal Suyumbekova, there are plans to implement them in future.
Access refers to level of equality at which women have access to factors of production, land, labor, training, public services, and benefits.
OVOP provides all the necessary tools and material needed to field producers. All workers are also given training needed for work. Most notably, employees are taught about Japanese philosophies such as Kaizen and 5S rules.
Conscientization. Conscientization is the understanding, being aware of the difference between sex and gender, and that gender roles are not natural, but rather cultural and therefore can be changed.
OVOP implemented a gender-aware policy that allows flexible working hours. This shows that they understand the still ongoing cultural dynamics of men and women in Kyrgyzstan, as some families are against women working in fear of them abandoning their household duties. Although OVOP does not openly promote notions of the difference between sex and gender, women, specifically field producers, gain more self-esteem as a result of economic activities they were involved in.
Participation. It refers to women's equal participation in decision-making process, policy-making, planning, and administration.
As we have explored during our tour, women are extensively involved in decision-making processes and administrative work. Many senior management roles are occupied by women, for example, manager of the whole field production, manager at Bishkek office, accountant team, program coordinators, and many more. Women's participation in decision-making process is especially important in such organizations as OVOP, where more than 90% of employees are women.
Control. It's the highest level at which both men and women equally control the factors of production and the distributions of benefits. Neither side dominates.
It is about the top management. In OVOP, currently the chief executive officer is Nargiza Erkinbayeva, which is an outstanding yet rare case in Kyrgyzstan. It can be a leap towards an inclusive business with a more fair distribution of benefits and a value chain that includes more vulnerable groups like women in rural areas.
One of the most important findings from our fieldwork was seeing two college girls working at the workshop. This was new because usually these workshops are filled with elderly women. We asked how they ended up working here. They said their grandmother told them they could work here part-time while studying. This means that younger generations are given a work opportunity in rural areas to become independent earlier in life.
Although the goal of OVOP consisted of empowering rural regions regardless of gender, the empowerment of women is a natural outcome, perhaps due to the fact that the work was mostly field production, which is traditionally women's role. With newfound economical independence on a local level and the gradual dismantling of the previous age gender-based systems, women in rural areas can now break out of their cultural confinement and create new social-cultural norms.